Today I'll be making these glorious gluten-free cinnamon rolls with rose gold icing. Fluffy, decadent, and perfect for anyone who needs something sweet and sparkly to brighten their day. For a PDF copy of this recipe, please visit the link in the description. I am Cottage Celiac and welcome to my channel. First we must make the Tangzhong, or water roux. This allows our gluten-free dough to react a little more like gluten and also provide more color to the finished product. You will need 39 grams of a gluten-free flour blend, my recipe is in the description, and 198 grams of warm milk to make the Tangzhong. Whisk the flour and milk over medium to medium-low heat until fully homogenized and sticky. It will form a thick paste. Remove it from the heat and set aside when it thickens. Now we will prepare the dough. You will need gluten-free flour, my recipe in the description, sugar, salt, xanthan gum, instant yeast, room temperature butter, vegetable oil, warm milk, eggs, and your Tangzhong you just prepared. In a stand mixer, add your dry ingredients first with a whisk attachment installed. No need to proof your instant yeast as long as it is fresh. Whisk on medium-low to fully incorporate. Once incorporated, remove the whisk attachment and install your dough hook. I also scrape down the sides of the bowl since my mixer usually has some trouble at first. Turn on the mixer to medium and start adding your wet ingredients. I had my mixer a little too low, so I decided to turn it up a little before continuing. This footage is sped up. I was at about a medium-high now. Add your Tangzhong last. My mixer was too high to add it well, so I slowed it down, and then stopped it to fully scrape the sides of the bowl. Let it mix on medium-high for 3 minutes. Once the 3 minutes has elapsed, scrape the bowl again, cover, and let it rise in the warmest part of your kitchen for 1.5 hours. If you're like me and in winter there is no warm part of your kitchen, preheat your oven to the lowest setting, shut it off, and then let it rise in the warm oven. Make sure your oven is off before putting the bowl in. While the dough is rising, let's make the filling. We will need melted butter, brown sugar, gluten-free flour, and my favorite, apple pie spice, or you can also use cinnamon. You can also add a pinch of salt, depending on your taste. All you need to do is simply mix all the ingredients together and then set aside for later. Also, apologies for the huge flour stain that is on my sleeve. Baking in black while filming by yourself is a messy process. There was flour all over my clothes and camera. I've been using this pre-mixed apple pie spice for years now. It's really just cinnamon, nutmeg, and allspice, but out of nostalgia, I continue to use it. It gives a more robust taste than just cinnamon in this recipe, though you could also use your own blend of warming spices. Just before the dough is finished rising, prepare a baking sheet with parchment paper and grease it. Take your risen dough and turn it out onto the greased parchment paper. Lightly push the dough with your fingertips to create a large rectangle. Wetting your fingertips is necessary to keep the dough from sticking. Keep pressing lightly until your dough is about half an inch thick. Now we're ready for the filling we've prepared. Generously sprinkle the filling all over, leaving a small section at the top of about an inch to be able to seal the rolls. Gently start rolling the dough using the parchment paper, crimping with your fingers to keep it as tight as possible. Once complete, roll the dough up in the parchment paper and carefully place into the freezer for 30 minutes so it can firm up before we cut it. After it has firmed, remove from the freezer and unroll from the parchment paper. I prepared another baking sheet with fresh parchment paper for baking, but you could also use the same parchment paper if you wish. Cut the log in half and then half each log twice again to create equal portions. You should now have 8 cinnamon rolls. Place the rolls at least 2 inches apart on the parchment paper. Cover and let it rise for 2 hours. They should look like this after the second rise. Bake at 175 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes until golden brown. Now let's prepare the rose gold icing. You will need melted butter, vanilla extract, confectioner's sugar, milk, and edible rose gold cake dust. First, sift the confectioner's sugar so that will ensure that there aren't any clumps. Mine was slightly clumpy even after sifting, but microwaving at the very end for a quick 5 to 10 seconds took out any of the last clumps. Wait until the end to decide if you need to do that. First, add in the vanilla extract, melted butter, and milk, then mix well. If your mixture is too dry, you can add a little more milk. Here's why I decided I needed to zap mine in the microwave for a few seconds to get out the few lumps. It's now smooth. I bought this edible rose gold cake dust on Amazon. It is very pigmented and shines like crazy in the light. Add your cake dust and mix well to combine. You can add more or less depending on your desired look. It looks truly metallic once it's mixed. My fiancé loves rose gold and it is a joke between us, so I made these for him as a surprise. The final step is just to ice each of your cinnamon rolls as you wish. These are best served hot straight out of the oven. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to download your PDF from the description if you'd like to make these yourself.